OneChoice integrates seamlessly with your laboratory and analyzes diagnostic lab results, delivering up-to-date guidance for clinicians. By combining current guidelines and standard of care with infectious disease expertise, the OneChoice report provides clinicians with the tools they need to make evidence-based clinical decisions. Under the principles of antimicrobial stewardship and based only on current guidelines and acceptable literature, the goal of the OneChoice report is to simplify results for the clinician, providing them with in-depth and targeted guidance at the moment they receive a lab result. Front and center is the OneChoice, the optimal treatment regimen. OneChoice takes into account many factors such as specimen source, organisms detected, resistant genes detected if tested for, patient demographics like age and gender, antibiotic allergies, diagnosis, and pregnancy status, and provides the clinician with the optimal drug, dosage, and duration for treating the likely infection. The report will always provide alternative treatment options found right under the OneChoice. Here, the clinician can choose one of the additional detailed regimens should the OneChoice provided not fit the clinical scenario. The following paragraphs, why is this the OneChoice, when should this be treated, and are there any special considerations, provides the clinician with additional insight into the organisms and genes detected, which are being targeted for treatment, and why, along with additional durations and other information. Often, questions a provider may have otherwise had can be found within this section of the report. Infection control precautions guide the clinician on if any measures need to be taken relating to infection control, given what was detected at the lab. This can especially be important in certain settings such as long-term care or assisted living. The organisms detected at the lab are displayed here, and the report bolds the common pathogens, which it's indicating as the likely cause for infection. If tested for, resistant genes detected from the lab are sent, and the associated antibiotic class is displayed. The report also takes into account intrinsic resistance in certain scenarios, accounting for an organism detected that's known to harbor a specific resistance gene. Determining if a resistant gene detected has any relevance to the microbe or infection being treated is also factored in. Antibiotic allergies can also be taken into account, in addition to other factors such as pregnancy and diagnosis codes sent by the lab, ensuring a targeted recommendation and report for the provider. OneChoice drug info displays key information about the drug in the OneChoice, whether the dosing should be adjusted for renal or hepatic function, common side effects, and drug interactions. In this example, renal is checked off, indicating that the OneChoice dose may need adjustment based on the patient's renal function. The 3 ARC scores are intended to be an educational tool for the clinician and provide them with an aerial view at the moment they receive the lab result. Infection Complexity ARC score takes into account the organisms and genes detected and their combination, displaying an easy-to-read numerical score indicating how complex the infection is to treat. The more complex the infection, given the organisms and genes detected, the fewer treatment options available, pushing the score higher and into the red. Antimicrobial resistance ARC score works the same way, but specific only to the resistance genes detected. Lower scores indicate resistance is playing less of a factor in the treatment options available, and a higher score indicates higher levels of resistance, limiting the antibiotic options available. Adverse reaction ARC score provides important information to the prescriber about the safety profile of a drug being recommended. The lower the score, the safer the drug, and less risk associated with the use of that drug. A higher score indicates increased potential for adverse events and risks associated with the use of this antibiotic. A QR code is displayed on each report. The provider can scan it with their phone or click it on their desktop and access OneChoice Plus, an interactive version of that specific report. Here, the provider can access advanced tools to assist them in their clinical decision-making. They can click on the organisms detected and learn more, which antibiotics work against that specific organism. In addition to accessing references on where the data came from for this recommendation, this provides the clinician with an extra air of confidence, knowing they always have access to the literature the recommendations are derived from. Click on the OneChoice or alternative options and view additional information displayed about that drug on the right side of the page, including routes of administration, whether resistance against this drug class was tested for, and reference dosing for renal or hepatic function, an important tool, eliminating the need for additional research by the provider. Meds Matrix can be a powerful tool for providers. Drugs relevant to this result are displayed, and icons indicate if a drug is an option, if it isn't an option, and why. The provider can hover over an icon for additional information. For example, which resistant gene detected is precluding the use of this antibiotic option, in addition to NIH data demonstrating the correlation percentage between organism and gene. Additional icons indicate drug allergies, pediatrics, and pregnancy. The Meds Matrix not only provides additional insight into OneChoice and the alternatives, it also provides the clinician with many more drug options while taking into account the factors sent by the lab. An interface allows the provider to update the Meds Matrix in real time, toggle the pregnancy indicator, and watch the Meds Matrix update to now take into account the pregnant status of the patient. Add additional antibiotic allergies or resistant genes, and the Meds Matrix will update accordingly. A renal function calculator allows the provider to enter relevant patient information to isolate the specific reference dosing they are looking for. The OneChoice report can be translated into any language, and OneChoice Plus allows the provider to change the language in real time. Simply click the drop-down on the top right of the page and select an alternative language. Providing the clinician with these advanced tools and in-depth guidance can often eliminate questions providers may have otherwise had. If, for whatever reason, a provider still has a question, a number on the bottom right of the screen provides access to the ArcStone clinical team for answers to questions relating to a OneChoice report.